Hello, hello, test, test, test. Alright, shit should be working. Hopefully, hello, fucking work. Come on. Well. There you go. Hello, hello, is this working? I have no fucking idea if this is working. I think it is. Alright, whatever, I'll do this for now. If anyone's actually listening in, please let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm pretty sure you can, but I don't know if the music's too loud. It shouldn't be, but so I don't know if, who's gonna be listening in live or listening at a later date. Sorry, I haven't um, said much yet. Just waiting for anyone to actually pop in before I dive into anything. But if you're watching this later, thanks for giving it a watch. Any feedback, or comments or whatever is always appreciated. Um, as I kind of mentioned in group earlier today, as we head into these, winter months, we're finishing out September right now. As we get into November, December, January, etc., most people, obviously including myself, spend a lot more time indoors, and um, obviously will resort to being on the computer and trading, and hopefully getting more involved with after hour stuff, evening weekends and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, we'll see how things go. But yeah, I figured I'd hop in here, give you guys my thoughts on um, altcoins, just take a look at the markets, maybe explain my moving averages and stuff like that, kind of how I have in previous streams, but it's always good for a refresher, or if you haven't watched these before, or haven't tuned in live before, or whatever, um, give at least a few of you a chance to get the gist of what I'm up to and what my thoughts are and how I find these things and why some days are better than others, or there's more opportunities some days than others and stuff like that. But once you get a hang of it, honestly, it becomes quite clear and it's not overly complicated. You just have to understand how it works. You can't just like base your decisions off of, what random people say on Twitter or even myself. You shouldn't just listen to what I say. You should listen to what I say, but also use your own knowledge and experience and practice and whatever to, compare my thoughts versus yours, and maybe you see something I don't see, but we all have our own edge and our own techniques and our own ways of doing things, but I like to think I'm doing all right. Um, so yeah, if anyone's listening in, feel free to say, feel free to say hello. God knows I might be talking to myself this whole time. Fuck it, whatever. I don't really mind. Monday afternoon, and I dropped a table on my toe today. So my toe is on it was like 20 minutes ago, and I accidentally dropped a table on my toe, so I can't really feel it right now. It's a little fucked up, but whatever. Sob story, boohoo, right? Um, yeah. So let me just take a look. So right now I have Trading Light open for you. For those of you who haven't used it before, it's basically just a heat map, which just shows orders. Up here's kind of the slider. And obviously the more, well, not obviously, but the more you have it to the right, it only shows like the bigger orders with these yellow lines here and this like blue one down here. And then as you decrease and decrease it, you see the smaller and smaller and smaller orders down to like every single order. So obviously you can't read. This isn't really readable, but based on like everyone has their own preference, like anything, right? So I leave it so that I can see a lot of the big orders, but I can also see some of the smaller ones. Just gives you a general feel of what's going on. I usually look at Coinbase and OKX, sometimes BitMEX, and sometimes Binance, depending on what I'm trading. But Bitcoin seems to be a lot on Coinbase and OKX futures. So, but Coinbase doesn't have a crazy amount going on. Thick orders at 11K, more thick orders at 10.8. Wouldn't be surprised. I'll go over my Bitcoin chart in a bit, but I kind of think we tap this liquidity up here and then continue falling down. But honestly, I'm not too sure. But I'll give you my thoughts. Then I'll look at OKX real quick before I dive into trading view. But figured I'd give you guys a little rundown on what's going on here. But yeah, no, there's nothing too crazy. Like these bids, you can kind of see that they're matching each other on either side. They're kind of like a reflection on either side. Those are likely just an algorithm that are just kind of um, like an algorithm that's just like equalizing or whatever you want to call equalizing, whatever on matching on each side. But there's like no aggressive bids, no real pushing from anyone. It's just there's gaps on either side. So yeah, and once again, I kind of think this liquidity will get tapped up here, between 11K, 11.2, and maybe continue fall down, fill some shorts up here. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go. So if anyone literally is watching, please just like let me know my mic's working. Let me know if my music's too loud or whatever. Um, last time I streamed, it was like 15, 20 minutes and my microphone wasn't even working properly, so that was pretty embarrassing. But yeah, so yeah, that's trading light. Not really anything crazy to see here for now. Sometimes you can see the whales like pushing with with their massive orders, or like pushing price right to their orders. Like you might see a Chad candle into this yellow block here to. Okay, cool, cool, cool. You might see yeah, like a Chad candle come and tap these. So basically, these people push current price up to these points where they have their resting short orders. Yes, it'll cost them money to bring it up here, but they can, if they can get people to FOMO into their sells, and then they can, the whale can also push it back down so they get their shorts filled. It's good RR for them, right? Yeah, so that covers that. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about this, but um, don't really know what else to say about this, and I don't know. Don't need to dive too deep into it. So I'll hop over to TradingView. Um, I'll probably just go over the features list. It kind of makes the most sense. It's where all the volume and volatility and good price action is. I do scan the Binance like list, and I do some like I have been checking the Huobi and KuCoin lists like I don't know maybe once a day, but there just really isn't enough like I don't know not really enough for me to um, just doesn't really make much sense right now. I don't really want to trade things that are against the Bitcoin pairing when Bitcoin itself is acting so sketchy. I'd rather just trade the high volume US dollar pairs. But just so you guys know, I do keep my eyes peeled on almost everything. But this has been my major focus, these futures coins. So I'll dive into OMG, I guess. Like it was probably the most obvious and cleanest play. I went over it earlier in group, but just might make a little more sense if I'm showing you live here. But um, so I think most of you have an understanding of moving averages, especially those that have been here a while. I kind of rant a good amount about them. Um, but I guess I'll just kind of zoom back to here where we had this wedge that broke down over here. So price closed below, and then these moving averages, as you can see, were all resistance against current price, right? You can see price we're underneath the MAs, underneath, underneath, underneath. So this entire time is bearish, bearish, bearish. I would just move on to the next coin because there's no point in trying to buy something that has them all as resistance, right? Um, and then over in this area is when it gets kind of messy. You can see these MAs are all spread out, right? Like all acting as resistance. gets a little ugly. Like when you see price shoot up and get tangled in moving averages that aren't nicely reset, like not all curled up underneath price, or even curled up in general, if they're all spread out like this, it gets kind of ugly. And as you can see, price just kind of chopped, chop, chop, chop. Is no point in touching that. But it does get interesting once we get to this point here with these hammers. You do see that we did get above the 1 hour 200 EMA, which is this thick red one, and then had a lot of trouble with this 300 MA, this light blue one. So you can see there's countless attempts to try and get above it, right? Like look at it all. Like there's like what 4 or 5 attempts here, one attempt here, almost attempt here, another one here. Zoom in a little bit. So just rejection after rejection. So um, obviously you don't want to buy into resistance, right? And maybe if price closed above here at some point, at any point on these 1 hour candles, then you could have potentially bought in and then exited on a close below. Nice tight validation, but it didn't happen, right? A rejection, 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 and then after so many times, okay, it was like fuck it, threw it up a little bit, lost all the 1 hour MAs, and then I guess was thankfully saved here by the 200 MA. Not overly relevant, but and I would have ignored this, but up until what time is this? 1800. So last night at 6 o'clock Eastern, um, price actually reclaimed all of these MAs, and they were a lot more tight and like reset and grouped up at this point compared to like over here. They're all sloppy and gross. It's still not amazing here, but um, right when price was able to get above that 300 MA that we had so much difficulty with before, and we're above all the other 1 hour MAs, and they're a lot better looking in my opinion. They're not amazing, but they look pretty good. This green box here, or that flip and retest of that 300 MA, would have been the like most beautiful entry like of all. Well, obviously, like it price didn't turn back, and then right when it flipped, retested, it fucking mooned. Look at this, easy. You just buy that flip, and you would have made a 40% before leverage. Before leverage, if you do a 5x lev, it's a walk in the park. Easy money right there. But fortunately, that was missed. I don't know what I was doing last night. I don't know. I wasn't looking at um, TradingView too much last night, unfortunately, and that was an easy miss right there. But at this point, I wouldn't like. I don't know. I don't. It's already moved up way too much. But you can see that even on these 1 hour MA7, this purple one here, um, on these like retests, you could have easily just bought a retest here, and every time it retested, it's like gone for another leg, or even gone close to it. It's gone for another leg. So all of these retests you could have bought and then just sold the leg up. But we are coming back for another retest here. You could argue that you could get in position here, but it's just so overextended in my opinion. It's already moved so far up while there's so many other coins that haven't yet. Even if it does retest it cleanly, I don't know. We'll see if it maybe if it retests and holds, I might. You could argue an entry, but yeah, I don't know. It's just hindsight. It was clean down here, good entry, but it's 15-minute MAs are kind of looking trash. They're starting to turn and curl down as resistance, and we've lost two of them. I don't know. They're just not. We're not looking too hot as we zoom out even more. So yeah, but yeah, hindsight, easy play, very straightforward in my opinion. But yeah, that kind of covers OMG. Not really much else to say. 4 hour looks, 4 hours actually not too bad either. You can see this 200 MA, this thin black one, probably lines up actually pretty closely with MA7 right here at 381 or 382. Yeah, and then 382.5 here. So honestly, you could, if you wanted to be aggressive, you could set bids just below where price is now. Consider that a 4 hour retest or a whatever 1 hour retest of the MA7. Um, we could see some continuation, but I don't know why that's there. Yeah, we'll see. That's actually kind of interesting to see. But these MAs here are kind of lagging behind. You want them all to be much closer to current price. So I don't know. We'll see how things go. I think that I don't want to spend too long on each ticker, and I don't know if I'll get through every single one of them. A lot of them look pretty similar, to be honest with you. But TRB, I can't remember if I posted this one in group or not. I know I do spam with Dimitri and Krillin and Vast a shitload every single day in Telegram. I know I sent it to them, and I send you guys the ones that I think are like the best and my favorite. Um, but yeah, this TRB was honestly pretty easy. You can see, um, where should I start here? I guess we can like, I don't know, start back here. September 20th, a week ago. Was just kind of vomiting. We lost these 1 hour MA similar to the last one, and they're all just acting as resistance. Kind of look shitty. Um, yeah, these 1 hour MAs look like shit, to be honest with you. But price did get tangled in. Once again, like OMG, kind of just tangled within the mall, not nicely reset. Not really my type of play by any means, but um, you could see that there was this horizontal resistance here, which also lines up with just below the 200 EMA. So I just marked, like, if I just literally just erase my chart. All I did was, like, I said that, okay, this is the, when we were down here, I'll even use the replay thing. So when price was around here, I was like, okay, well, this is the high here, right? This is the horizontal high here. There's no like this is our range high right here, and it happens to line up with the 200 AMA. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to buy here because the 200 EMA is still resistance, and this horizontal resistance isn't too far away. It's only it's only 4% away. So I'm like, not great. But if price can get above the 200 EMA and which is also above this horizontal resistance, that's a pretty important point to flip. And if we can get a close above and retest, that's a pretty good entry in my opinion because there's not a lot of resistance above. It has a nice gap up here, right? See, there's not much resistance in the way here. Nice gap up, nice 13% gap, right? Pretty clean. You can see the 1 hour 300 MA that we were chatting about earlier is there too. You could even have that as your TP1, your take profit one. So 6.8%, maybe cut half there, and then potentially buy another retest, horizontal retest if it comes to add back on again, and then you know take these as your like have them again as your take profit one and two if just in case this does get rejected first. If that makes sense. Hopefully that was clear. But yeah, once this horizontal is flipped, you buy the breakout and retest, and it's easy as that. And then your invalidation would just be a close, a 1 hour close back below, seeing that we're looking at the 1 hour time frame. Or if you want to have a hard stop instead of a manual stop, I'm sure you guys know the difference, right? Hard stop is like setting an actual stop market or stop limit order on Binance, and then a manual stop is like closing it out yourself when you see things get kind of sketchy. So you could have done like a manual stop on a 1 hour close below, just below this horizontal, um, or do a hard stop, closer to this 1 hour MA cluster or like in the middle of it. Ideally, you'd want to do below the 1 hour MA cluster because you really don't expect price to get there at any point if we're bullish. But that's a really wide gap. Um, like that's like an 8.5 gap. And if you are playing with leverage, that's not really ideal. So I'd probably do around a 4% stop loss. Even that seems a little high, but um, yeah, you don't want to get wicked into, right? If you have a hard stop in place, like an actual stop market order, you do see, price wick both ways quite often, and it doesn't necessarily make it bullish or bearish. It's just people pushing to get you stopped out, but buying back up so that the trade's not actually invalidated and the structure is still like clear and valid as well. So yeah, but that covers, well, let's click the play button, right? If we buy the flip of that horizontal, let's see what happens. Let's get rid of this again. So right when price closed above, it gave a perfect retest, right? Perfect retest right here, this big wick. So your orders would have been completely filled and price never closed back below the horizontal. So that right there would have been a super easy 11.5% before leverage, right? Easy. If you have, 10x leverage is high, but you would have doubled the amount that you would have initially put in just on a single day trade like that. So it's not overly complicated stuff. You just have to know how to read it. And yes, that takes practice and it can be complicated. And you gotta be careful when you're doing these things that you're not drawing to fit a certain bias or fit the position that you're in. You have to be, clear and like genuine and bias free when you're drawing up like this. So yeah, I'll take a look at Lend in a sec. Actually, let's. Yeah, I think that's actually. I'm pretty sure that's what I had drawn as well. Yeah, let's open Lend real quick, just because someone happens to be looking at it. But yeah, that covers TRB. Hopefully that makes clear sense. You'd start to sell resistance, um, maybe just below this horizontal at this point. Yeah, and then here's my drawing tool. And then once price gets above and retests or closes retest, you can just buy the flip again, do that over and over again. But market's kind of weird right now, so but that's how I played that. Um, I'm not sure if you guys happen to play it too, but Len's an interesting one. So usually when I look at things, I do like to look at the daily, just for a macro perspective. But on these futures plays, I've been doing a lot of 1 hour, 15 minute, 4 hours as well to get a pretty clear picture of what's going on. But um, Len's an interesting one. We're still kind of tangled in these 4 hour MAs. We are trying to, as you can see, we were rejected off the 200 EMA and the 100 MA a few times here. And now, as you can see, price is trying to blast through. Uh, Still a few hours until price actually closes. It's only 5:45, and the next close is 8 p.m. So, gonna need to see some real power and for price to actually hold above these levels to actually, you know, flip them. So yeah, so I don't know. I thought I had more drawings on Lin than I actually do, but looks like a pretty easy. If I just draw that there, kind of see that horizontal, I mean not horizontal, diagonal, um, that was blasted through. Didn't actually come back for a clean retest, so it does look pretty strong. Um, Up about 4 and a bit% since that flip. Ideally, if you were looking to get an entry now, be as close to the diagonal retest as possible. At around, yeah, 0.556. So that's about, I think, what, 4%? Something like that. Yeah. 4% dip. But yeah, see, it came back with that wick. That would have even been a decent entry, but didn't. It was front ran, right? People wanted it too badly, and it's been bought. So looks pretty good to me though. Like it's, you know, 1 hour looks clean. 4 hours trying to get above these 4 hour MAs. If I zoom out to the 15 minute, they're obviously already all flipped, right? The lower the time frame, the more responsive. So the 15 minute should be all be flipped. 30 minutes should all be flipped. 1 hour it has also been flipped, and we're blasting through. And then next is the 4 hour, and the 4 hour, um, yeah, has a little bit of tangledness. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna just kind of range for a bit. I'd like it to flip this 4 hour and 1 hour. I mean, 4 hour 200 EMA and 100 MA. Maybe just hold on to it for a little bit. Sit on it as support, maybe 4, 8, 12 hours, whatever. Then maybe start to move up some more. We'll see what happens. We'll see how strong it is. For all I know, it might just fucking blast on through all of them. I'm not really sure, but structure looks alright. It's just the 4 hour MAs I wish were a little bit cleaner, but hour looks pretty good. So. Yeah, that kind of covers that, I think. If there's anything else anyone wants me to listen to, I mean, not listen, listen to, look at, ticker-wise in particular, just let me know. I can totally take a look at whatever you guys want. Yeah, stores looks kind of fucked. Just from a quick glance, it kind of looks like a, what's it called? Head and Shoulders, arguably. Looks a little clear on the 1 hour, but I don't know. Not really. It's kind of losing the 15-minute MAs. 1 hour's, it's just like there's just no push. It had this initial big push. Tried again, didn't go nearly as far, and now it just kind of looks just slumpy. So if it's gonna move up, it has to do so really soon, or else we're gonna take a nice leg down. Probably back around to this next. um, horizontal area right here just because we did have horizontal resistance here. You can kind of expect it to at least have a bit of a bounce here at 4062 approximately. It does line up with one of my 4-hour MAs as well, so we'll see. Looks kind of shit, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't actually know if it'll go back up. It'll probably. I'm assuming it's gonna come back here sometime soon. Um, this is at RX. Yeah, kind of looks similar to OMG, right? Kind of miss this one too. Rejected by the 300 MA, rejected by the 300 MA, puked it up, went for the reclaim. This would have been the buy on the flip of it here. Looks actually really similar, right? Here's ugly MAs, rejected from the 300 MA, blah blah blah. Puked up, reclaimed. Could have got your entry on this flip here, even on this like area here on this MA7 retest, and would have given you about almost 10% so far. Um, eh, just looks kind of mediocre to me. Like maybe if it comes back for a retest, I should set an alert here at 4265. I'm telling you guys, setting alerts, by the way, if you don't do it already, I highly recommend it. They're honestly a godsend. Like if you're busy doing something or like you can't have your eyes on all tickers at all times, right? So if you know an area that you'd like to buy, just set your alerts and fucking it's a nice feeling when one goes off, price is getting shoved down right now to that point. Okay, well, I'm gonna buy and then uh, it turns into a wick, and then you have a beautiful entry, and it's done just like that. Super easy. It's a lot easier than just like, fucking scan, fucking, 12 hours a day. It's so much easier just to set alerts, and then once they trigger, you um, can decide whether or not you think it's good for entry. Kava I actually like. Um, I think it actually looks quite good. So I'll kind of explain what I'm seeing here if it's not clear already. We drew this diagonal. Just delete what I have now. Um, so I don't know. I can just see that it's visible. You just take the outer points, right? This is an outer point. This is an outer point. This is an outer point. You just kind of line them all up or see if they line up. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, that looks kind of shitty, but this is a pretty clear well, clear enough diagonal. There's multiple ways to draw. You could even draw one down here a bit, but I just like to take the outer points. Draw that there. Okay, bing, bang, boom. We got a diagonal there, and acted as resistance here. Didn't quite make it these times, but resistance here, and then there's my little check mark at. Price flipped, so price closed above. Could have bought the retest. Shove a green box there. Could have bought this retest here. Didn't close back below the diagonal at any point, and now for the past, what is that, like 6-7 hours, it was just kind of consolidated. And maybe, well, not maybe it, as price like goes sideways like this, works both ways with MAs as resistance and support, right? If they're up here above as resistance, as time goes by, they reset, or get closer to current price. And same with resistance, right? They're all kind of tangled. I mean, not tangled. Well, they are, but they're all spread out. They look kind of shitty. But as they've kind of go, like, as price kind of goes sideways and sideways, they get a lot nicer looking, and they get like grouped up together. And this little consolidation here has allowed these 1-hour MAs to catch up to current price, which is good. You want that. You want them to be nice and close and right underneath price's support and helps push us up into a new leg. Uh, um, so yeah, as we flip the diag, could have bought this retest. I doubt we're gonna go back down now, especially not if we're bullish. You don't really want to start losing these levels. Could see a really deep wick to here. Um, I don't know. I'm not overly confident that'll happen. So if you want to find an entry now, I just enter on MA7, approximately 2.2728, as a more aggressive entry, seeing that we missed the initial entry. And yeah, easy as that. I have a good feeling that in the next few hours it's going to take another leap up. I might actually get a position on this one just because I think it's so clean and clear and yeah, looks good for another leg. So you could even just set your like TP levels now. There's no right and wrong. You could do it at the like local high here, at 270. That'd be an awesome TP to get hit. Or you could also put one right here. Just pick points that Price has touched multiple times and acted as either support or a resistance level. But yeah, not rocket science, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Nice 8.5% there, or 19% total. Yeah, easy as that. So, don't really know what else to say about that. It looks like that's really all I have to say. On the 4 hour, we have the 100 AMA acting as resistance. Not really. I was hoping that that wouldn't be there, to be honest. I was hoping it'd be underneath the support, so that might be a bitch to get over. We'll see. Um, but yeah, 15-minute looks good. Can you look at the 30-minute as well? Could argue like some people could draw like a little wedge here if you wanna maybe fit your bias a little bit, but I have a feeling Price is gonna coil up a little bit more and then go for a little pop soon. So yeah, that's that. That covers Kava. I feel like I'm talking a million miles a minute. Hopefully that's not too fast for you guys, but let's look at Ethereum and Bitcoin, I guess, while we're at it, because they've been a little interesting. Um, Usually I look at the 4 hour for the Bitcoin and Ethereum just to gives you an actual good idea of like the trend for more than just like a day or two. And you guys know these zones. We've kind of just been playing around with it. Figured it was easy just to color code them. Um, but yeah, it was actually kind of interesting. I don't know. I remember vividly watching price down here at this blue zone. And as it was support so many times, here it bounced 4 or 5 times, worked here with a huge buy up, and then came back down again. That honestly could have been a really easy long trigger. But 4 hour MAs were super bearish, right? They were all acting as resistance, and I'm really not a fan of knife catching like this. Something that comes down this far with MAs looking so bad, I figured it was gonna break down. Get rid of that. Don't really need that right now. Yeah. So we'll see. But we have had some pretty decent strength the past few days. We have reclaimed a lot of the 4 hour MAs, which was actually quite unexpected as well. That doesn't usually happen, well, like very often, especially with shit coins. They like to just come for the retest of MA7. Like if I invert it, very similar to if you're looking bullish. Usually you'd expect a tap of MA7 or one of these MAs and just get a swift rejection, but we've made it all the way up to the 200 EMA after getting above all of these other ones. We have rejected so far the past 4 hour, 8 hour. Um, Zoom in a little. Price tried to go above, rejected. Price tried to go above, rejected. Um, Hopefully, like you don't want to see too many more rejections off this level, in my opinion. The more times you reject, I think the likelihood of us taking another leap down is quite high. So, um, still, I'm gonna stay neutral in regards to my bias, at least for the time being. Once a flip of this purple area, which gets us above the 200 EMA, above this horizontal SR, and above the 200 MA, which is this thin black one. Um, that helps support my bullish bias anyway. It's going to be a lot harder for bears to get back into control, I think, once we get above this purple area. So we'll see. I'm having a little difficulty trying to gauge where we're headed next, just because this altcoin movement doesn't seem overly natural to me. It seems just forced and propped up. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I go day by day at this point. I don't have a rock solid bias because that burns anyone. It's not healthy, and it'll get you chopped really quickly. So yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Honestly, you could argue it's a good short opportunity on any of these wicks into the 200 EMA until we actually close back above. Um, yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm not entirely sure what's gonna happen if we. I'd love to just like have more legs down, to be honest with you, because I wanna get a extremely optimal long position to ride out for the rest of the year into 2021. Like if I can get some really cheap ETH, especially like a low leverage, like high quantity ETH long, that would be fucking phenomenal. But taking it day by day, so we'll see. Bitcoin on the other hand looks like I have a lot more drawings and shit going on in this one. Um, Zoom out a little bit more. Um, so as you guys know, this was our previous range that I had drawn here. This from this 10, 8, I don't know, 7, 5-ish area to 12K. Um, you guys, I'm sure remember this massive puke. I know a lot of people lost a lot of money. Like not including us too much. I like to think we got us out at a good point, but I'll leave that up to you guys to tell me if we did okay. But we're all alive, which is good to see, and a lot of us have pretty good looking portfolios. But um, yeah, irrelevant, I guess. But anyway, um, so after we had this major puke up, we kind of built this range here, right? We came and bounced twice on the 9.9, I don't know, what's this, 995-ish, and up to 10.5. Um, Price bounced around, so we built this range, and then we completely flipped it, reclaimed this previous range that we were in up here, and then puked it up once again, to back into this lower range, and then again, like it's a lot of chop, right? Like below below range, top range, below range, now we're back at the top range again. So it's just like eating people up, right? Because they're getting into these heavier positions, hoping we actually get continued momentum, but we're just going from range to range over and over again. It's good for day traders, right? Because they're fine with getting in and out, um, in these smaller moves. But um, if we don't go for a leg up soon, which like I don't know, I'm fine with whatever way we go, but I don't know. I prefer momentum, not this shit chop, because it makes it difficult to get into swing trades, in my opinion. But anyway, we kind of seem to be we're struggling to hold this previous range low once again. So I don't know, like 4-hour MAs look pretty good. I guess you can see they're all underneath the support, other than this 300 MA. So we'll see. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll catch up to current price, and then just take us for that leg up that we need. Or it'll just be a fucking trap. We'll get to mid range or some shit, or whatever, some scam spike to 12K and then fall. I'm not really sure. I'm taking it day by day, and I don't know what we're doing next. But yeah, that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's kind of a bitch. I don't trade Bitcoin myself. It's just good to know what it's doing. But this fucking stupid chop is, and it doesn't follow MAs nearly as well as altcoins do. It just fucking almost ignores them, and I'm like, okay, well, like, I don't know. We'll see what this bitch does next. But yeah, well, I'll go over, I don't know, I'll go over another ticker or two. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. Um, Bell. I posted about BAL. Had a couple wicks into this horizontal. What's similar to TRB, right? Where we had this horizontal level marked, flipped it, retested it. Also lines up with the 1 hour 200 EMA. Easy entries on this horizontal. Has been holding for the past 4 or 5. Well, yeah, it flipped about 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. Retested cleanly. Hopefully goes for that leg up soon. But yeah, nothing overly complicated. First TP, 1 hour, 300 MA for around 6%. Yeah, and then maybe this horizontal at 17 and another horizontal at 18, 11. But yeah, nothing to overcomplicate. 1 hour MAs look good. As you can see, they're all underneath current price, which is bueno. Yeah, that's really about it. No need to overcomplicate it. Um, any drawings on this? Yeah, I'll leave that. Yeah, I don't know. Tesla's looks okay. MAs are close to current price, but I don't know. Tesla's is kind of a bitch too, right? It hasn't really done much since the start of this alt rally, but maybe its time to shine will come, but I don't know. I don't think I'll touch it. Band I was playing earlier, entered on the 1 hour 200 EMA retest. So I don't know, just no momentum, right? Like it shot through the 1 hour MAs, retested, bounced a little bit, but it's like, okay, are you gonna do something? Like, you're gonna actually like go for it? So, but initial target initial target, this horizontal um, red area that's just been breached multiple times. So you can kind of expect it to breach there again. But yeah, it's easy like 9. Well, if you got in on the retest here, easy 9% scalp. So yeah, covers that. Algo's kind of meh. Qtum meh. BNB meh. Fuck BNB. Yeah, I don't know. Atom looks shitty. IOST. I was in a really heavy position on this earlier. Um, Same with a lot of them. A lot of them look really similar, right, guys? Like 1 hour EMAs are all resistance. You start flipping them. You retest the 200 EMA, and then enter again, maybe on the flip of the 300 MA. Moved up a couple of percent since. But once again, price action just doesn't seem very natural to me. So, yes, BZRX. What's this guy doing? Literally nothing for like, yeah, all day long. It's kind of just chilled here. So I don't want to see a move up soon, but there's just no momentum on much right now. Like dots bleeding off, rejected off the 300 MA. Probably gonna come back to the 200 EMA, but MA7's turning resistance, so it's like, why bother? Why? I'm not risking my money on things that are like in a neutral state. Vet neutral. XLM looks pretty good. Flipped all of them and on MA7 and just above 300 MA, so that's a clear entry right there. But I don't know. Like this just looks fucking weird. This isn't something I'd put my money into. Like we had this high, this low, lower high relative to this high, um, but higher low compared to this low. So it's like, yeah, it's just chop. Ugly. Cardano, I have a head short on actually, because um, Cardano, you can see, how do I explain this simply? Um, Basically had this horizontal level here, right? Where this was a high at one point, and then double top here, smashed through, failed to hold, and then went back again to this horizontal that was a double top at one point, rejected, again, rejected. Now starting to lose the 15-minute MAs and not even making it close to the horizontal anymore. So it's just lower high, lower high, lower high. And yeah, getting further like this would have been a great, or still is a great area to short if it comes again or if it taps it. But I think yeah, the best entry has been missed, but you still have these 15-minute MAs, where you could argue you could just short on a bit of a move into them, right? And then maybe initially target the 15-minute 200 EMA for a quick 2.7 move down. But yeah, like I don't know. This thing needs to like look at this fucking thing. If this is the top here and you could just let this thing free fall and drop down, you can make quite a lot of bank in my opinion. You could just hold on to this for a while if this is actually the top, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm short on Cardano. I don't think it looks very good anymore, and yeah, I think it needs to take a breather. What else we got? Meh, Ethereum. Oh, nice. Good job, Sweet Science, on this lend entry. It looks quite good. Um, you might even get a scam move soon up. Can't see Tangled looks shitty. Like if we're all tangled in this shit, don't bother. If it looks all sloppy like this, don't bother. Like if MAs are just fucking not a clear, concise like group and a support or resistance, whether you're short or long, don't bother. Don't waste your money. Like it's easy as that. TRX has been a fucking weird one, to be honest. I had a really big position on this one earlier. Still looks pretty good if you draw this diagonal here. These 1 hour MAs, look how close they are to each other. Look how nice and tight knit underneath the support they are. That's exactly what you want in a good long entry point. You want to get the flip of the diagonal and when it lines up with the 1 hour MA cluster, that's pretty fucking clean. So yeah, I don't know. I Mike, after this relong TRX, I just fucking hate the project. If it was a different project, I'd feel a lot more comfortable longing it, but fuck, do I ever hate Justin Sun, but whatever. It looks good. This, like, the I should just trade the chart, and I will probably just trade the chart, but yeah, an entry here looks pretty damn clean. Exit on a 1 hour close below the diagonal in the 1 hour MA cluster, which gives you a nice tight validation of 0.62%. And fuck it, you target this local high of 7.5%. So 0.62 versus 7.5. The risk versus reward is clearly there, and there's not a ton of resistance in the way, and it has a beautiful MA structure and diagonal flip. So yeah, it really is that easy. Once you can either these things, you just like it's just like that. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna wrap things up here in a minute, guys. Cheers to anyone listening. Um, yeah, I don't know if anyone has any questions at a later date, if anyone's even listening now or whatever. If anyone wants any clarity on something, or if I'm just like, I don't know, if there's anything you want help with or understanding of or whatever, shoot me a message, shoot me yeah, shoot me a message, ask me a question, and I'll always be around to help you guys. But oh yeah, waves. Should cover this. Yes. So there's quite a lot of coins on futures now. There used to only be like a 10 or something. Now there's this massive list I have to keep an eye on, but it is nice. I shouldn't complain, or I'm not complaining, because the more options, the better, because you can be more picky with your structure, right? But waves, I still have a long on. Really, really simple diagonal flip in 1 hour MA flip. Like, they're all like, price is gliding on it, right? Like, if price is gliding on the 1 hour MAs, boom, boom. Bob's your uncle. Easy as pie. Buy the diagonal flip right on the MA touch as well, which is exactly what I did. I got my entry here. Super tight. Um, yeah, and hopefully it goes for a move up. This one is really wicky though. Um, yeah, it likes to wick really deep. And this shit from the other day, I think I can't recall if I was in it or I at least watched it, and I was like, wow, that's fucking really annoying. Like all these super scam moves to either liquidate or stop out like harshly some people. But yeah, maybe that was the fuckery before a major to move up. But I think the structure overall looks really good. Has a bit of horizontal resistance to get above here. Like if I mark this. It's not the most beautiful box, but you can see price has been tangled a lot, like, in this horizontal area. Lots of bounces, a lot of resistance and support. Well, mainly resistance here, right? Really. So it might be a bit of a bitch to get over this hurdle. But we'll see. I know Waves does like to move really hard when the time's right? Like look at these. So in just a few hours, it fucking scam pumps super hard, but also scam dies at the same time. So word of caution with this one, super illiquid, but if you just trade the chart, super easy. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's really about it. There's nothing else that's standing out that much. DeFi looks pretty good. But I don't actually know how this one's weighted. Like, it's not a coin itself, right? It's a perp, so it's like I mean, it's not just a perp, but it's a group of multiple coins. But I think I read that it was only like a lend in something else now. Like, it's not a big basket of DeFi coins, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we'll see. I don't really. It's okay, but. And then a lot of these, right? I didn't really go over many bearish ones because a lot of the setups right now look pretty bullish, other than Cardano. But if we're below all these 1 hour MAs, like if you see something like this, do not long this. Do not waste your time. If we're downtrending and we're getting new low after new low, or we're just kind of tangled in them, don't bother. Because if like and they're acting as resistance, they'll shove us down. And if we're creating new lows, like there's no bullish bias there, right? Um, yeah, so I don't know. ONT would not touch. Looks kind of shit. But something like Link actually looks pretty good. This is it's easy as you can literally look at a chart for 10 seconds sometimes or whatever, like a couple of seconds, and you can get a pretty good gauge on like its structure and like where it's headed. Like MAs are honestly pretty overpowered in my opinion, but if you can nail price action plus MAs, um, you'll likely be you'll make it just fine as a trader. But yeah, we'll see. Link I think actually doesn't look too bad. Might fuck around in this little like wedgish thing for a little bit, but 1 hour MAs look good, so keep an eye on Link actually, guys. I didn't really notice this one too much until now, but I'm actually kind of losing my voice too, so I'm gonna hop off. I don't usually talk this much, so yeah, nothing else looks like great. Wi-Fi actually, I'll wrap up with this one for anyone who's still listening at any point, but Wi-Fi actually looks pretty good. Super easy wedge breakout, and then 1 hour MA retest and wedge retest as well. Hopefully goes for a new leg soon, but um, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, no, it looks good. Wi-Fi looks good. Wi-Fi I, on the other hand, don't really know why they look so different, but Wi-Fi I actually looks ready for a leg down compared to Wi-Fi that looks ready for a leg up. So yeah, that really wraps it up. So I'm gonna get off now. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, talk to you soon.